Two hosts who just can't get along have to travel to New York City. A series of mishaps compel it compels the duo in order to accomplish their goals, to unite against the forces around them.
Wow.
Yeah. If anyone recognizes that short plot breakdown, shame on you.
Because you've been picking way more well-known cultural reference points.
Yes.
To include trapdoor in this.
Yes.
As for your introductions.
Yes.
That's niche.
Yes.
And I thought we got on great.
We do.
This is how I'm discovering. What was the first line of that?
Two hosts who just can't get along.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, we're sometimes. I know we get on really well.
Yeah.
But we bicker.
For the purposes of narrative.
But yes, that comes from a film, which we'll be discussing later in the episode. No spoilers. In this episode,
I calculate the optimal direction to travel in to catch the subway.
I'll be working out how long is a New York minute.
And we may have any other business. We're not sure. We're on vacation. So
we're on vacay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a day. Give us a break. I'm so not with it.
We're both very jet lagged.
So, Matt.
Beck.
What have you been up to?
Oh my goodness. You've seen everything I've been doing for the last
mostly
3 days.
Been to Disneyland.
That is very true. I went to Orlando before I came up to New York.
Didn't invite me to that part, did you?
I did. I didn't. You're right.
Didn't. I was in Italy, so
That's
joke's
true.
on you.
I knew you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Went to Disney World. That was amazing.
Yeah.
For people who watch YouTube, there's a YouTube channel called Captain Disillusion, which is run. Well, the intern, quote unquote intern on that channel, is an individual named Alan. And Alan, the intern, and I went to Disney World, which was a ridiculous amount of fun.
I know that there's a bunch of people listening who are losing their minds.
Very
over
excited
that fact.
right now, yes.
Yeah. But for those who are clueless.
Some guy named
I'm
Alan.
with you.
Alan works in VFX.
I'm not clueless. No, I know of Alan. I know from you telling me about Alan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about this fame.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Alan, he's got a YouTube channel where he works in VFX and he kind of debunks fake videos as well as doing educational videos about how VFX works. And so he lives not that far from where I was going to be. And we're like, we should meet up in Orlando and we should go to Disney World. And we did not plan ahead which of the various Disney parks we were going to go to.
There's more than one park?
There's more than one park. There's 4 parks.
Oh, my gosh.
There's the good ones. There's like Magic Kingdom. That's the one with the castle.
Yeah.
All that jazz. There's Epcot. That's like the cool, futuristic from the 70s.
Okay.
One.
Like a
lot of fun.
Tomorrow type thing.
Yeah, like a World Tomorrow kind of thing. There's Hollywood Studios. That's where they put like the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Animal Kingdom.
Which is like a zoo?
No animals.
Oh.
No kingdom.
Oh.
Has got Avatar World.
Right.
So we did that. We both realized neither of us had ever bothered doing Animal Kingdom. So
it sounds to me like James Cameron was like, I think Avatar should be in Disney World. And they're like, you can go in Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. It's like that. There's a ride that's based on Everest, the mountain.
Oh, right. Do you know what? That makes sense though. Like if I was going to make like a roller coaster or something, I'd be like, what goes up and down real big? Everest.
Himalayas. Job done. And
it is a roller coaster, right?
It is a roller coaster.
Okay.
And then miscellaneous Lion King
It was a ghost train or something. I'd be a bit.
But we had a lot of fun. So we did that. Mm-hmm. And then we went over to Hollywood Studios to do like the Star Wars stuff, which is kind of fun. Even though neither of us are massive Star Wars fans.
No.
Great VFX.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what it's about, isn't it? I'm not really a massive Disney
Are you a roller coaster
fan.
person?
I love a roller coaster. I'm not big on the upside down. I can do a couple of loop-de-loops.
Sorry, the technical phrase loopity-loops.
Loop-de-loops.
Or inversions.
I prefer loop-de-loops. I love a roller coaster. I can't do spinning rides. Can't do teacups or any of those.
Oh, yeah.
Not unless you want to see my lunch.
Because we then met up in New York. I came up from Orlando.
Yes.
And we timed it so we both landed at the airport. And our good sound quality in this episode is because we've gone to a studio in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With like skyline views.
Yeah.
Well, I can see a crane building the skyline.
And we've got a sound engineer, Jody. We never have a sound engineer.
Yeah, I know.
And we've got Lauren normally when we're...
Oh, yeah, Lauren's great.
Yeah. We've got Lauren on Zoom.
Yeah, Lauren's in the room.
But Jody's in real life.
Jody's here.
Yeah. I'm having a great time in New York. But actually, before I go into that,
What?
I wanted to tell you about something in Italy. So I was staying with friends in Castrovillari or Castrovillari, depending on where in Italy you live.
It's very adversarial in that regard.
Just rub it in my face. This is why we can't get along, Matt.
I'm just trying to set up the story that you was anyway.
So yeah, we were staying there, and I said to my friend Yaz, who lives there, "What's your favorite thing about living here?" And she said, "Billboard Mountain."
Billboard Mountain.
And I was like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "Okay, I think it's called Mont San D'Angelo or something. There's a little mountain, little peak,
Right.
just on the very edge of town, like right, you hit the last road and boom, it's right there."
Gotcha.
It sort of reminded me of Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh.
Oh, like a very abrupt.
Not like a cliff type thing, but just in that sort of,
would rock suddenly go up. Yeah.
And I thought it would be as easy to climb as Arthur's Seat.
Yeah, you can saunter up and down Arthur's Seat.
Yeah, it was not as easy.
Oh.
It was anyway.
Were you unprepared?
There was some the last bit is very steep, and it was a proper all fours.
Oh my goodness.
Scenario.
Like scrambling up.
Yeah, proper scrambling. The reason it's called it's nicknamed Billboard Mountain
Billboard Mountain.
is because there's this big old mountain.
Yep.
It's overlooking
You
the
can
whole
see it from miles
town.
around.
You know what would be great on this? Couple of billboards, right? Right on the top.
Right on
right
the
on the
top.
top. Not even like leaning against it like the Hollywood sign. or
Oh,
something.
like raised
right-
above the mountain.
Yeah. They were like, I'll put 2 billboards up there. Everyone will want to buy advertising
Yeah,
space.
good spot.
'Cause everyone in town will be able to see these billboards. And these are very decent sized billboards. People will abseil down them.
They abseil down the billboard.
They're like, this is a great idea. And they set them up and then they climbed out down to the bottom and realized you cannot see what's on the billboards.
No.
As soon as you get to the bottom, you can't see. It's
a blur.
just a square.
It's like this big.
So far away. They must have been like, I bet the Hollywood sign is like each of those letters
like
is
12
massive.
foot tall. Yeah.
And it just made me laugh so much because from miles and miles around, all you can see these two
little tiny rectangles.
on
You
top of the
can
mountain.
buy a pixel worth of advertising.
Yeah.
You know what they could have used to check that in advance?
Maths.
Yeah. Yes.
Like it must have cost so much money, and it would have taken way more than one person. It would have been a whole crew.
So what have they put on the billboards?
Surprisingly, no one has bought any space on this, so they are just blank. There is a pastel blue one with bits of rust showing through, and pastel pink with bits of rust showing through.
So you spent all day scrambling up a mountain to look at 2 unused billboards.
Yes.
Is this why you were so dismissive of Times Square?
Yeah. I was like,
It's easy to get to. You can read the signs.
Yeah. There's lights. What? Nah.
We should get going.
We should. This first problem is from Patrick from Manchester.
Oh.
They've said it's either Patrick from Manchester is their whole name.
Or Patrick is from Manchester.
Yes.
And our good sound quality in this episode is because we've gone to a studio in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With like skyline views.
Yeah.
Well, I can see a crane building the skyline.
And we've got a sound engineer, Jody.
We
never have a sound engineer.
Yeah, I know.
And we've got Lauren normally when we're...
Oh, yeah, Lauren's great.
Yeah. We've got Lauren on Zoom.
Yeah, Lauren's in the room.
But Jody's in real life.
Jody's here.
Yeah. And Patrick says, how much do you increase your chance of catching the subway by walking to the nearest stop in the direction of travel? Where is the break-even point?
Right. So to set the scene, you're in a city.
Yeah.
There are subway stops, and you know the direction you want to go in.
Yeah.
And so Patrick provided a lot more information. They're going to or from their office or something, but they know where they got to go to.
Yeah.
And you're like, I could walk in the direction I need to go to catch the train to continue going in that direction. Or you could backtrack and get the train from a station behind you.
Yeah.
And then, well, why would you do that? Why would you walk in the reverse direction?
Yeah.
But what if you're really close?
Well, this is the thing. We were talking about this before because I live slightly closer to Camden Town Tube than I do from King's Cross.
And King's Cross is one of the major
directions.
stations in London.
But only by a bit. And quite often I'm traveling in the direction of sort of King's Cross.
Because that's going into London.
Yeah. But when I put it into Google, it almost always sends me to Camden Town Tube. And I think it's because it's like, well, it's closer. But in my head, I'm like,
less walking.
But
some of these things you can say minimize walk time or minimize changes or just minimize time. And you're thinking minimize time.
Yeah.
You don't mind the extra walk.
I don't mind an extra walk.
But potentially, counterintuitively, walking backwards and then getting the train forwards again could save you time. So we're going to solve this specifically for New York,
Yes.
particularly a single subway line,
Yes.
subway number 1. If we could start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, they're not all numbered. The
I think
streets,
only like 3 are numbered.
1, 2, and 3 are numbered. And then they're like, oh, this is boring. Let's mix up the names. Because the streets, like in New York, vertical lines are avenues, horizontal lines are streets, and they're numbered. It's so good. And they started on the subway numbering them, and they're like, nah, we shouldn't do that. And so they gave them other names. But the one we picked.
Well, the names are just letters.
Yeah,
A line,
like the
B line,
B-line.
C line.
It could be. I don't know if they're systematic.
I don't think there are named lines.
They don't name lines?
Well, ask Jody.
Jody, name
Jody
no,
is
nothing.
shaking his head.
Are they all just letters? Letters and
Letters
numbers.
and numbers.
Oh my goodness.
Which is the name of Countdown in Australia. Whoa.
That doesn't help. We chose the 1 line.
Yep.
And then we're going to generalize that across all other.
Yeah, I can't see
lines.
that being
Yeah.
problematic at all.
And one of the great things about New York is it's very grid.
Yes. Like Adelaide.
It's
Shout out to
New
my
York
South Australian brethren
city
and
is
sisters.
very similar to Adelaide City
Everyone always says that.
in a lot of regards.
Quite a few people I know. I've never been to LA, but people say to me, oh, Adelaide's like a tiny LA. Not in terms of opportunities or people, but in terms of the way that's surrounded by the hills and the climate.
Oh, okay. So it's a bit like LA in that it's a city
Shut up.
next to an ocean with some hills around. That's why when people have ambitions of media success in Australia, they're like, oh, I'm going to see if I can make it in Adelaide.
Laugh it up, Perth boy.
Good point. Good point. We both moved to London, so we're both
yeah.
hypocritical. But anyway, there must be an answer to this question because I was thinking if you were stood exactly between 2 stations, and so it's the same walk time either way, then you should definitely walk forward
Yeah.
to save yourself a station. On the flip side, the other extreme is if you were stood only like 10 meters down the road from the reverse station,
Yeah.
there's a point where it's definitely quicker just to go back a couple steps, get that tube, go forward.
Yes.
And so there's our 2 extremes, and they're different. And so somewhere in between, it must switch from one situation to the other.
Yeah.
There's an intermediate value, and that's the threshold point where if you're any further forward of that, you walk forward. If you're any back of that, you walk back.
Yeah.
And so we set out to find out.
Yeah, we did.
Because you could just look up online, I'm sure. Like Google gives you walking times.
Yeah, but we don't know if we can trust Google.
No.
I mean, Google got us stuck down an alleyway in a medieval city in Italy, so.
And so you being rescued by the Italian fire department
Yeah.
was you deemed not as interesting as the billboard story. And I agree with you.
For you, Matt. For you, it's
Very
not.
true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. And I appreciate that immensely. So because we don't want to trust these navigation things because they're the things we're testing, Beck and I thought we would choose 6 consecutive subway stops, which means there are 5 intervals.
Yeah, little fence post.
Little fence post problem there for
Yeah.
you all. And we walked the whole thing and we timed it.
We did. Here
And
is
then-
that audio.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 14th Street Subway.
Yep. On 7th Avenue, people who want to follow along on
Yes.
a map. And we're going to start the timer.
Yeah, and then
So
we're
should
gonna
I hit
start
start
walking.
and we'll start walking?
Yeah.
I'll count us in. Ready? It's on the implied 0. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, start. Okay. And we're off.
So I think, first of all, the challenge that we're going to have with this
Yeah.
is we're coming up to one now.
Already we've got the
How often
crossing.
you get stopped
Yeah.
at pedestrian crossings. I feel like you don't get this as often in...
We went for 11 seconds.
Yeah,
And we stopped.
and then we had to stop. And I guess it's because in the UK, we don't have the grid system, so
No.
there's a lot less intersections.
This is very, very irregular stops. When
Yeah.
It's a grid system. Also, here the roads are big.
Yes.
They're wide roads and you're not allowed to jaywalk. And this whole time we've been talking, there's been a red hand.
And people are jaywalking as we speak.
Oh, people are, constantly crossing around us.
Here we go.
We're on.
Okay.
But I worry about that in London because I know where the traffic's coming from, how it moves, all that jazz. I'll occasionally cross the street and I get nervous when tourists like follow my lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, don't follow me. I'm, cutting it fine, but I reckon I can make it. Can I just say how incredibly New York this is? There's like vapor coming out of a subway vent, people walking their dogs.
I was going to say, like, I'm not really paying attention to the vapor. I am paying attention to the puppy. This is already, we're already at 15th Street. We're walking to the stop on 18th Street.
Gotcha. And we have 4 streets.
So they're quite close when you think about it.
Here we go, we're off again.
These stops, there's not a huge amount of distance between them, but we are getting
No.
stopped an awful amount of time by
Yes.
traffic lights.
Okay, well, we will continue walking and we will report back in once we have a time at the first Stop.
Yeah. We're coming up to 18th.
Yep, 5 minutes in, give or take. I think we need to find the subway entrance.
Yeah, they're over there on the other side of the road.
Oh, do we need to cross? There's some.
I mean,
Oh,
we're
there's
not
one on this side. There's
going
one on this side
down.
too.
There's one on this side. All right.
Actually, we've got a crossing person, so we're gonna.
We're going to make the most of
Oh,
this.
and there's
while
still
we have it.
cars cutting in front of us because they're allowed to do that while we're crossing.
Yeah.
And 5:26.
All right. That's quite long, considering it was only a couple of blocks.
Yeah. They're
One
gonna.
of the things I noticed, Matt,
Yes.
is that here there aren't buttons.
No, you
It's
don't push
all
a button to
automated.
cross. You just wait and go.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, does that timing ever change?
In theory, it could be in phase with the speed at which people walk from block to block.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But then, because this is a grid system, you've got people also walking.
Every which way.
We're walking,
Yeah.
south to north. But there's also people walking.
It's the same
east to west
distance.
and
Yeah,
vice versa.
That's a good point.
So it'd be interesting to know whether people are more walking side to side, or up and down.
and up and down. I mean, there are fewer stops up and down. I mean, there are more stops up and down and fewer side to side. So if you were to benefit anyone, the ups and downs, because they got way more stops to go through.
Yeah, you're right. But we've stopped at almost every pedestrian crossing here.
Most.
But the other thing I need to say is that you and I are relatively fast walkers.
Correct.
That said, by New York standards,
Pretty
not.
average.
yeah, we haven't really been stuck behind any dawdlers here,
No.
have we?
Much like the roads here are much wider than they are in London. The sidewalks are much bigger.
That's true.
Like this side we're walking on now must be what, 4 or 5 meters wide?
Yeah, I would say these pavement slabs are about a metre.
Yeah, a little over a meter.
So
But
about
yeah,
4 metres.
yeah, you'd never get that in London. And then of what? Let's say 4-lane road plus a lane of parking plus a bike lane.
Oh, I'm
in the
doing
middle.
it. I'm jaywalking.
She's going for it.
Yeah. Oh,
She's playing along at home, 20th Street.
because the way I see it is like, yeah, how would I walk this if it was me?
Yeah, I think we just need to recreate our normal walking acceptable level of risk taking.
Yeah. All right, coming on to 23rd.
Oh, that was quicker. I don't know if it was less distance.
I think it's because
But-
we didn't have as many stops. At
That's true. I think we got
the
more
intersections.
crosses. So we're coming up on almost 4 minutes and to the subway.
Between
Four exactly.
from the last one.
Right on from the last one. 4. Yeah, I'm doing them individually. And now we're carrying on from 23rd up to, I believe, 28th.
And we're immediately at a pedestrian crossing.
Yep. 12 seconds.
It's getting dark now, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if the soundscape will change for people listening at home.
It's going to get louder, I think.
There might be a little
It's a
less
Friday
traffic.
night, we've decided to record
that's true.
as
It's a
well.
Friday night. That might be foolish.
But I believe I can already see the beginning of the lights of
Oh, that's
Times
Times
Square,
Square,
which
you're
is where
right.
we're heading.
Ah, that's not that far up there.
It's not that far at all.
Oh, we'll get there in no time. Why even take the subway?
Not this time. All right, we're off.
Yeah, we can't dawdle. The lights change. We're off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Matt said that and then immediately walked into
Walked
some
into a
women.
bunch of people.
Yeah. So we're already coming up to 25th, corner 25th and 7th
Ooh.
Avenue. And the next stop is 28th, isn't it?
28.
We've just got 3 more blocks.
And oh, wait, are we going to run for the blinking crossing or?
Let's do it. Oh, and the hand is blinking. Wow, nearly ran into some tourists. The wind. Here we go.
Oh, I feel like we would have picked up the speed of the air rushing
Yeah,
over the
we
mic
did.
as I was pelting down
Just
there.
got to the other side as the hand stopped flashing. Another interesting thing I noticed, Matt, about the pedestrian crossings here
Yep.
is that we have a green, well, we say man, we have a green figure
Green person.
generally, and the same in Australia too,
Yeah.
and then a red person.
Both
So,
times, full
no.
body people.
Yeah,
Block green, block
full
red.
body people. So, and then a red hand saying no,
Just the hand.
no. It's just like talk to
Because
the
I
hand.
feel like in the UK and Australia, the crossing symbols, and other countries, you either see a person crossing or see a person not crossing.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, you either see a person crossing or you see the representation of an authority figure telling you what to do.
I do, if I was a taller person, I would high five each of those signs.
It's a Family Guy bit.
They high five the sign?
Yeah.
With a hand on it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
Seth MacFarlane steals all my bits.
All your best bits of material.
All my bits of material. All the worst ones are not mine. That's all on him.
We are approaching 28th. It's 5.5 minutes. This is a new record long amount of time. Done. 5:40.
Okay. 5:40 and
marking it. Reset. Start. We're off again.
guess what? We've been stopped at the
We haven't even
Caroline
moved yet.
Square.
No.
And there's a siren coming past, so that'll be fun.
Is that fire, ambulance, police?
Or a toy gun.
It's the police.
Why do so many of them have different sirens? Like I've heard so many different sirens.
I've heard a lot of different sirens. It's not like it's just different types of emergency vehicles. I swear different police cars have different sirens.
Yeah.
Maybe you get to choose your siren.
Like, do some of the sirens mean different things? Like,
Different
I'm in a rush, but
emergencies.
it's not an emergency.
Yeah. I'd like to get there quick, but you know, do what you can.
Yeah. Or is there a,
Or
like
get out of the way. This is important.
Yeah.
Oh, bagel pub.
Yeah, we're at an intersection and we just noticed that there's a place called Bagel Pub, which is sort of written in like ye olde.
The oldie bagel script.
Yeah. It's not entirely sure what it is,
No.
but I kind of respect that. Also, I don't know if we caught that on audio, but
Oh,
it's
the
a
person
guy
who spat on the
hocking
sidewalk
big-
next to
Yeah,
us.
a couple of them actually.
The bagel pub are now hiring. People want to get into the bagel public house industry.
Yes. If anyone's like,
How do I get in on the ground floor of this?
yeah,
Yeah, what's the next stop?
34th Street, Penn Station is coming up.
Ah, okay.
Okay, coming up to the next one on 34th Street.
6:19.
Okay.
Between stops. I think they're spacing out. So we got another 8 blocks before the next one.
Yeah, for our final stop, Times Square. And as you may have noticed from the sound,
Yep, it's getting busy.
yeah, so we're getting into proper tourist central now. We were so cocky before. We were talking
were.
about how we're the pace, we're up with the pace.
Yeah.
But I would argue that most of the people walking here aren't New Yorkers.
No, now we're hitting people who don't have anywhere to be. They're here to see things,
Yeah.
enjoy themselves,
Yeah,
have a vacation.
yeah. Not walk between subway stations and time it. Stuck at another light
Yep.
on what street are we? 36.
36th Street. We can see the lights.
We can see the lights. We're nearly there. Our
Times Square on the
pilgrimage is nearly
horizon.
over.
A data collection journey.
Yeah. And we'd actually walked to the point that we started as well from Brooklyn.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah. So we've done all right.
It's not like we hit the ground fresh, you know, and
Yeah.
full of energy. This is a realistic. You've been out all day. You've got to make a navigation decision situation.
Yeah.
Oh, we're here. What's up, sis?
Oh, we're here.
Stop. 7:28. Oof, log it.
All right. We are on the corner of 40th and 7th.
There's all 5 stops. Now what we have to do is catch the subway for comparison timings.
Which I guess is hopefully faster.
What I love most about that audio is how you can hear our energy disappearing as we go on.
Oh my
Start
goodness, we were
beating on.
so
And
tired
also,
by the
it
end.
wasn't like it was a long walk, but we'd walked to that station
No.
from Brooklyn, and not
Yeah.
even like just on the edge of Brooklyn, like quite deep.
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
it was a good hour and a half, 2-hour walk before we commenced the test.
Before we actually started walking for
yeah,
the yeah.
But I feel like that adds a certain element of realism to it.
Yeah.
Like it's a long day.
That's true.
That's when you want to pick the most efficient route.
Yes, yeah.
Total walk time. Now, this is just the segments we timed.
Mhm.
28 minutes, 53 seconds. And the average time between stations was 5 minutes, 46.6 seconds. Just shy of 6 minutes.
Okay.
Which all checks out.
Mhm.
5 flags,
Yep.
half an hour. We need to compare that to how fast the subway is.
Yes.
So we caught the train back.
We
did
did.
exactly the same stations.
That was much nicer.
We timed them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what that sounded like.
We're now on the one line
Train
to
reverse
Southbury. It's going from Times Square and we're taking it down to 14th Street.
Correct.
And we're going to time.
I'm going to time
station.
from doors closing to doors opening.
Yeah.
Assuming you roll on at the last second.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming into Penn
33,
Station.
34 Street.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the timer at the moment you could step out.
Okay.
1 and 8.
Significantly faster.
Yes.
But that's not what we're timing.
No.
The real question is how
We can sit now.
often these trains come.
Yes,
Now,
that's
this is
gonna be the big
thing.
one.
We've realised that this little journey that we're doing, it's actually 3 lines.
They'll run in the
Use-
same one.
Yeah, which significantly bolsters.
You get the more frequent trains.
Oh wow.
Coming in.
We're already at 28th Street.
54.
All right.
We are coming into the next station, and again, it's under a minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it. We're now on the final leg,
Yeah.
and none of them are taking longer than a minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah. Even the stations where people get on and off, we are not there anywhere near as long as we are at pedestrian crossings.
No. Oh, no. I think we get between stations faster than a single wait at a pedestrian crossing.
I think you might be right.
And the final one is 56
that.
seconds. Now we're going to do some working out.
Well, we've already done some working out.
That was a
tired.
workout. Let's go home.
I want some ice cream.
The total amount of time, 4 minutes, 56 seconds.
For the whole journey.
The whole journey. Now, I timed doors closing to doors opening.
Yeah.
And so I took out the in-between time. I just kind of wanted that one section,
Yeah.
not the in-between bits. Average time, 59.2 seconds,
Right.
which is way less.
Yeah.
So then we have all the times it took us to walk. We have all the times it took the train. The train, by the way, way more consistent
Yeah.
because we were all over the place. Some legs took like 7.5 minutes. Some we did in 4 minutes. The subway was almost always pretty much exactly a minute,
At least in that stretch, anyway.
at least in that stretch.
Yeah.
But it seems that the subway arguably is maybe there are other factors at play than just the speed it can go. They might be regulating it one way or another.
Oh, possibly.
But I'm ignoring
But
that.
where we were, they were fairly equidistant from each other as well.
Roughly. But I worked out how much faster the subway is than us walking.
Mhm.
And on average, the subway is about 5.9 times faster.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Or to put it another
If
way,
it wasn't faster, we would all walk.
we walked at 17% of the subway.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you got to think, how do you work out where that threshold point is?
Mm.
And one thing a lot of people mentioned when we told them what we were doing was how long you have to wait on the platform.
Yeah.
And at that time of day, on that train line, the average wait is 2.5 minutes.
So longer than it takes to get to the next station.
Yes. So I got that from someone who did an incredible bit of research. Todd W. Schneider wrote some code to use the API to access the MTA, like the subway data, to get all the wait times for all the trains on every line
Ah.
and calculate the average wait per train
Oh, wow.
around the clock.
Okay.
And so the graph I want to show this episode is this fantastic little graph here.
Ooh, one
That's
train wait time by hour.
Yeah, that's the changing average wait on the one line
Ah,
when you're standing on the platform waiting for the train.
depending on the time of day.
Yeah. And you see it's quite
Wow.
high overnight. There's a big tick up, at night time, and then overnight it's quite high. And then during busy hours it drops down.
Mhm.
And you can even see two little dips even further down for the
Around
morning
like
rush
rush
hour
hour.
and the afternoon rush hour.
Mm.
But during the normal working day zone, it's about 2.5 minutes.
Mm.
And you can see they've actually plotted every single line and the distribution of wait times for that line.
Wow.
It's really nice. This is 2018 data, but their code is all on GitHub if you want to rerun it for more up-to-date results. It's amazing. I think wait times don't matter.
Oh.
I think the time it takes you to get down to the platform doesn't matter because I timed those two.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, you got to wait either way.
Yeah, that's true.
You walk back, you got to wait. You walk forward, you got to wait. And you're waiting on the same line with the same average wait. So I think the wait time is constant. No matter which way you walk, the time to get down from the street to the platform. Well, I mean, obviously, different stations are different, but we're doing this on average. And the amount of time you wait on the platform is the same if you went forwards or backwards.
Yes,
So
true.
I've decided just to rule that out.
Oh, interesting.
Gone.
Okay.
Out the door.
What if going backwards, because it's closer, means that you're more likely to catch the train that's like within that minute or whatever that it's
You're not on average.
It's not on average.
No.
It's not enough to factor in.
No.
Okay.
And we're ruling out, like, if you look up when the train's coming, like, let's say they're infrequent enough that you can go, I want that specific train. And then you can work out if you're likely to catch it if you go forwards or backwards. But we're not factoring in. It's like when you get to a bus stop early and you're like, could I walk to the next one
Yeah.
before the bus overtakes me? But
Yeah, which is weird because I do that all the time. Like, I don't now. I don't catch the bus, but when I was a kid, I would always do that. And now that I think about it, I'm like, what? Why did I think that?
I do that. I still do that.
I think it's because you think, mate, I might eventually just get home.
Yeah. No, I'll get some exercise in, do a walk.
But you feel like you're doing something, don't you?
So you're just standing around.
Yeah.
So I think all that matters here is just how much faster is the subway than you?
Mm-hmm.
And in theory, we should be able to use that to deduce the point at which it changes.
Yeah.
So I ran the math on it.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, I'm saying math now.
I know.
Excited.
I picked up on that.
It takes effort to flip constantly.
Mm.
It takes very little effort just to flip completely.
Yeah. You just go, I'm in the country.
I'm in the country,
gonna
it's
say
math
this
now.
Yeah. I'm the same with crisps and chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I ran the math and it's 41.5% of the way along for our data.
What?
Okay, yeah, no, good point. Okay, so in the situation where you're 17% of the speed of the train and you've got the two stations,
Yeah.
the point at which you should go forward or backwards is not exactly in the middle.
No.
It's 40% of the way along the journey.
Okay.
So if you're anywhere in the first 40% of the distance between the stations, you go back. If you're anywhere in the remaining 60%, you go forwards.
Okay.
So the threshold's not 50-50 in the middle. It's I've done everything in how far through the journey between the two stations you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's roughly 40, but it's 41.5%. It's actually, if you take the percentage of your walking speed compared to the train, which us was 17%, and then you work out the complementary percentage, so 100% minus that. So instead of 17% down to 83% is the rest, and then you half that.
Why?
Math.
You can't just say that. You can't just say math.
Did.
Why? Why do those things help me calculate this?
I could not find out. Like, I couldn't come up with an intuitive explanation for why that's the case.
Oh, okay.
Because the complementary percentage, does it even make sense? Like, if we walk at 17% of the speed of the train, what is 83%? What is, like, that's the...
Well, the train is 83% faster than us.
No, it's not.
Is that how it
it's
works?
Not how it works.
No?
No. It's like the 83%, we're not as fast as the train. I don't think, listeners, if my jet lag has stopped me from seeing an obvious physical interpretation of why you should do one minus the speed and then half it.
If we're 17% slower than the train.
We are 17% of the speed of the train.
Okay. So why isn't the train 83%? Oh, yeah, because that's still less.
Yeah, because the train is 518. The train is 589% of our speed.
Right.
Because it's over 5 times faster.
Does that have any link with 17 or 83? Can we reverse engineer this?
Yeah, maybe, but that's just for our particular numbers. So everyone else can work out their own percentage, subtract it from 1, half it, and that's the threshold point. Why?
I'm impressed that there is a formula for this, but I feel like we're missing an integral thing, which is to explain why that formula works.
There's a trick in math when you get to something like that.
Yep.
It's called not worrying about it. You're like, it's just how the universe works.
A good mathematician never reveals his formulas.
Crazy. I can show you the working out.
Oh, no, I know that it's been worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know why.
I don't know why. There you are. That's the answer.
If anyone knows.
I even double checked it because I did the algebra to get that. I was like, that's weird. I don't know why it's that. And so I went through manually in the spreadsheet to try and work out what the ratio is just by like calculating the times and balancing it around. I got exactly the same answer.
Huh.
So I'm confident it's the right answer.
Well, that's a good answer.
That's the answer.
Yeah. So I think the next thing we need to do before the next episode is test to see whether Google's advice is correct.
But what's interesting about 40% is several of the legs we did were 5 blocks. And so that 40% is right on a street.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And as we noticed when we were doing it, the bulk of the time is waiting to cross the street.
Oh, my gosh. So
it feels like that. So in that case, I suspect it's whichever side of the street you're on. You go walk away from the street.
Oh, yeah, because you don't want to get stuck at the pedestrian crossing.
Should we ask Google Maps right now and see what it recommends? We'll just make a journey up.
Yeah.
And flip between them.
Okay.
Okay, I got Google Maps up. Let's say we are exactly in between 23rd.
Matt has chosen a point which is outside a shop apparently called Bye Bye Baby. But
Bye Bye Baby.
BUYBUY.
Purchase a baby.
Yes.
Okay, so right in the middle, it says walk forward to 28th. Get the subway.
Yep. Makes sense.
Drag the starting point back.
It flipped. It did that live.
Right on 40%.
Right as Matt pulled the mouse past 40%.
That's incredible.
Live flip.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'm going to do a screen recording, everyone, so you can. That is really exciting. Okay, I'm picking up the dot. It's right in the middle. Obviously, if I go forward with the dot, it continues to say go forward. If I come back, the moment I hit 40% here, flip. Look at that.
Yep.
That's amazing.
That is actually really impressive.
Thank you. You weren't impressed by my algebra. I show you a fancy Google map.
Yeah, and I never asked Google why. I never said, what made you think of this?
It must be doing exactly the same calculation in the background somewhere. Or it's just collected so much data, it's discovered the same result a different way. Because this may just be something that's dropped out of it, logging loads and loads of journeys people have done, but it's right on 40%. Oh, I'm so pleased.
That's very, very satisfying.
So at an average walking pace, so it turns out we must be reasonably average at walking because Google's also got 40%. 40%.
Matt, I'm impressed. Now that I've seen a visual representation of your workings.
That's what it takes.
I'm going to give it a ding.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to give myself a ding because I did some walking
We walked
as well.
a long way, yeah.
We're going to ding ding.
All aboard. Our next problem was sent in on the problem posing page at problemsquared.com, and in the what is your name box, they put R10, P-E-Z or Z, 10.
It might be elite speak, might be
R.
Lopez Low.
Strikes me as a fake name. They say, how long is a New York minute really? And they mention that people say it's the time between when a traffic light turns green and a driver starts to honk their horn, but they've asked us to get to the bottom of what is a New York minute. They then do add, is Lauren Armstrong Carter the best producer of all time? Which is suspicious.
Yeah. But we did check and Lauren categorically denies that she...
Is this you, Lauren? No comment. My theory is that R10 Pez thinks that Lauren goes through all the problems, which is true.
Yes. And what happens is Lauren suggests some problems and then we go, or it's like we're little kids like,
I don't want to.
I do want to pick my own problem.
It's true. Lauren goes through them all. And so flattery for Lauren will increase the odds that she suggests we do it.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so I did what I normally do when I come across a problem like this, and I immediately Googled it just to see.
Good work.
If I should say, this is not an ad for Google. We've been mentioning Google a lot.
Oh, other search engines are available.
Yes, like Alta Vista.
Yeah, wow.
So I had a look to find out what it is. Basically, it's just to mean like it's quick. It's a flash. I think originally it came from the suggestion that it takes a New Yorker a minute to do what it would take someone in Texas an hour to do or something like that.
Right.
But not like as a diss towards Texans. It was the other way around. It was like something a Texan would take an hour. It would take,
Slow down, New York.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, there's the answer. That's kind of it. But I mean, when have I ever not
When did you
done
ever
a deep.
stop there?
When have I ever stopped where I should have?
There's no ding in it if you're just binging it.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. It took,
That's a new
it took a
t-shirt.
second to work out
No
the format
ding
of
in
that
it if
joke.
there's no
if
bing
you
in
just
it.
bing it. Because Bing, that's the search engine for.
No, yes, of course. It is. Yep. I thought you were talking about Chandler. So during my research, I was reminded.
That's what we're calling what we do now.
Yes, I was reminded that there was a film in 2004
Yep.
called A New York Minute.
You just
Or
put
just
in
called
New York Minute, and one of the responses was a 2004 film.
Yes, with Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, the famous twins.
Wow. Yep.
And look, I'm going to be honest. You and I were in a bar.
We were in a bar
when we saw this.
2 nights ago.
And we both went, we should
that's
watch
funny.
this.
We should watch that.
We should watch this film. We went home. We went back to the flat.
Yep.
We put on.
We put on just New York Minute.
Yep. Now, the first thing that sprang to mind when we were watching it, and I think we time stamped it as well. But
It didn't take long. It was about 20 minutes into the film. We
No,
went
it was
and got
6 minutes
paper.
something.
Oh,
It was
really?
like-
Really?
it was 6 minutes that I wrote this down, which was the realization that I think one of the sisters died
Yes.
early on.
You were like, this looks like one person playing both roles.
Yeah, one of them died. Then the other
This is the weirdest
had to play
conspiracy theory.
both of them. And then that's why they kept bringing out twin films, because it's like they're bluffing. It's like, well, they wouldn't bring out twin films if there was only if one of them had passed away.
left.
Yeah. So then they just had to keep doing it. And that's why eventually they had to stop. 'Cause
My
it's too
theory
much.
is they were never twins.
It's always been one person.
Always been
Or
one
just
person.
no people.
No, well, because they started
Costumes.
on Full House
Yes.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
When they were like less than a year old.
Yeah, and famously TV, they use twins to play kids.
Well, why do they use twins to play kids?
2 reasons. One, because if one kid is in a bad mood, they can use the
they
other
can
one.
swap into the, yep.
And the other, I think, is like child labor laws or something, isn't it?
Exactly. What I think
Yeah.
happened is someone showed up on set going, hey, we're just here from the child labor department or whatever. We're just checking the hours that your child actors are working. And they realized the baby had been doing way too many hours. They
Yeah.
were way over the line.
Yeah.
And they're like, it looks like this child's doing way too many. They're like, no. It's a twin.
Yeah, they're
And
twin.
on the fly, someone on the fly on set had to make up an excuse.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, there's more than one Olsen.
Yeah.
As
yeah.
well as
That's why we
Ashley.
call them the Olsens.
The Olsens, there's also Mary, Kate.
Yeah, they just added that.
And just as a backup, because they're thinking,
Maybe
if I go-
triplets.
if I'm going to push this out to triplets, because they hadn't done the math in their head, they're like, oh, if I'm still over, if there's 2 of them, I'm going to need to have a third one.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, no, I said there were triplets. So that's why Mary Kate has 2 names.
That's right. That is right.
And there's only ever been one. It was to skirt labor laws.
That's a solid theory. I like
Thank you.
your theory better than mine, actually. Ironically, Lindsay Lohan, actually twins.
Then a reverse Olsen.
Yeah. So yeah, it didn't take us long to come to that conclusion and decide that. And look, I'm going to be honest with you before we go any further. It is a problematic film.
It wasn't good when it came out.
Yeah.
It's gotten more not good.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been not good, but now we're super aware of
Oh, yeah.
how not good it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It is quite racially insensitive.
In more than one, like in several ways at once.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Look, we watched it so you don't have to.
We watch some bad films that are fun to watch. This one did not fall into that category.
No. And you know what? Don't give them views. This film doesn't need any more money.
And we've got a solution. If you want to enjoy the New York cinematography of New York Minute without watching the film, we've
Yes.
recreated all of it.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? For a film that is called New York Minute, surprisingly few shots of them in sort of recognizable New York
About a minute of the runtime,
situations.
I suspect.
Not much at all. Oh, also, we found out afterwards, did a little bit of research. Half of the film shot in Ontario.
Ontario, yeah.
Yeah, not even the same country.
Cheaper country.
Yeah.
They often call Ontario the twin of New York.
Yes, they do, don't they? That was for city labor laws, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Tell the listeners what our solution was.
I don't know why. Maybe between us we can work out how we got to this.
You suggested it.
Did I?
I think so.
It feels like me.
Well, maybe I
hang
suggested that
on.
we visit the locations.
We definitely said we should visit the locations. And then I probably said we should dress up as
Yes,
the
you
Olsen
definitely.
twins.
Yeah.
And go and recreate shots from the film
Yes.
in New York.
And then we've
We've done that.
We went through all of our limited wardrobe that we've brought with us.
All our clothes out, which of their outfits can we recreate from what we already have?
Realized with great embarrassment that we could kind of do it.
A decent amount of it.
Yeah. So there's a few moments where we've had to swap clothes.
Yeah, one of them is wearing a band t-shirt, like a Metallica t-shirt.
Yes, and I've got my Magic Sword t-shirt with me, which is a slightly on the snug side for Matt. I think you pulled it off. I said it yesterday.
When I was pulling, I have to be very careful it didn't take everything else I was wearing with
There's
it.
one point that I had to hold down the t-shirt underneath for you, like a toddler,
we were in
toddler
public.
getting dressed. Yeah.
It was snug.
So we went to 4 locations that we could find for the
Chinatown,
film.
where they crossed the road in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
Where they crossed the road at Madison Park.
Flatiron Building.
Flatiron Building.
And Times Square.
Times Square.
Yeah. Unfortunately, by the time we reached Times Square, because we did do this as the same time as calculating our last
Same day
problem,
as the subway walk. Yeah.
It was nighttime.
Yeah.
So
that one doesn't match as well.
No, it doesn't. We are in position. We're in the same place, but the lighting is somewhat different.
I think it counts.
Yeah. So if you'd like to see the shots where we've recreated, guess where you'll find them? On the socials, at A Problem Squared on Twitter and Instagram.
And as you look at them, see if you can guess the one article of clothing we had to purchase specially.
Yes, we did have to purchase one
item.
Yeah. And we found it as well.
You had to make a dog puppet out of a t-shirt.
Yes, I did. So after we went around New York recreating those scenes, confusing many tourists.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's just us two as well. When we weren't with anyone else. So to take the photos, we had to set up tripods.
Yeah,
we had to
put a GoPro on a tripod.
Yeah, we had a lovely dad who came over and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to take the photo for you?" And we're like, "Oh, we kind of need it to be in a really precise angle."
I'm trying to work out where my head is compared to the one-way sign.
Yeah.
And we had to take it exactly when a taxi drives behind us.
Yes. So
they were a bit
so
offended.
hurt.
I know.
And we're like, "No, we don't need your help.
You're walking, Dad.
Go away." So to answer the problem, what is a New York minute? I mean, for us, it was a whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A whole day of misadventures and adversarial. But the actual runtime of the film.
Yes.
Yeah. Is 1 hour, 30 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's it. That's what a New York minute is. It's
5,437 seconds.
5,437 seconds.
90.61 times. That's the ratio of a standard minute to a New York minute.
There you go. So it's actually the opposite of a very brief thing, a quick flash. It's actually very long.
Long and drawn out and has not aged well.
Sorry, New York.
Well done.
You're negging it.
I mean, Beck, you've gone from bing to ding.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you I've seen the photos and I'm going to give us a ding. Ding.
Thank you very much. Now's the time where we would normally do any other business, but because Matt and I have been very busy while here in New York, we've not had the time to go through some of those things. But what I will say is that we recorded our bonus podcast that we do for Patreon supporters.
Yes.
While we were doing
the street.
On our walk before we reached 14th Street and 7th Avenue. So if anyone would like to hear us being wizards and posing hypothetical problems to each other.
If you're a big fan of low sound quality.
It actually sounds really good.
It sounds really good. You know what? The recording came out way better than I expected.
Yeah, and you got recognized by someone.
During the podcast.
As we were recording.
If you ever want to experience a live, hey, are you Matt Parker?
Yeah.
We captured one on the streets of New York.
Yeah. Sign up to the Patreon. You can set your own price. You can do it for £1 a month.
Don't tell people that.
Or $1 a month, I think it is.
It's in dollars.
It's in dollars.
There's never been a better time to give us dollars.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Speaking of Patreon supporters, we like to thank 3 of our supporters at random.
Completely at random.
Completely at random.
I think we might have had our first repeat.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Third name down, I recognize that because I think we've discussed how to pronounce it before.
I think you're right.
Okay, I've just heard our producer has checked, and the third name in today's 3 random Patreon names came up a mere 3 episodes ago.
Whoa.
And a lot of people write in and say, is it really random? Will names come up more often than once? Yes, it's absolutely random.
Yeah.
I get the list of supporters right before we start recording. So it's completely
whoever
up
the
to date.
latest, yeah.
Absolutely up to date. And then completely at random, I take 3 names. And there you are. We had a match. I'm so excited.
Look at that. So we should
Everyone's
thank
thinking,
them.
Who is it?
Ready?
Ready. Aaron Cadigan.
Jacob Heiss.
And you may remember them from their work in the credits of episode 042, Anders Ort. Anders. It's a repeat.
Well done, Anders.
I think that may be our first repeat.
Maybe
I'm
we
sure
should send
someone would
Anders a
have said,
postcard.
You get a postcard of us in New York.
Not of us.
Not of
We're
us.
not going to go get
from
one
us.
made.
No,
yeah.
no. We'll buy a postcard. Beck will draw us into the picture on the front.
Okay, done. Deal.
We'll send it off.
Okay. We'll have to find Anders' address.
No.
Finally, we'd like to thank everyone who has made this podcast possible. My co-host, Matt Parker.
Thank you.
Myself, Beck Hill.
Well done.
Producer, Lauren Armstrong Carter. And guest sound engineer for the day, Wavy Boy, Jody. This has been In Problem Squared. Matt, we forgot to pick up Twisty's substitute.
Oh, we did.
while we're here.
What are we going to do now?
Well, we'll have to buy those
We'll get something.
and then we'll have them on the next. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
I realized we went through the whole what have you been up to?
Yep.
We talked about Disney World.
Yep.
Neither of us mentioned the fact that we went to
Oh, yeah.
we had backstage access.
Hanging out with Seth Meyers.
Yeah, with your
Yeah.
BFF.
That's for our listeners. Captain Disillusion is a bigger celebrity than Seth Meyers. So me hanging out with Captain D at Disney World, I think they'll find that more impressive.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I think the Seth Meyers thing was pretty cool. We
That
got to
was
sit
pretty cool.
backstage. There was all sweets and stuff. We got to chill out in the green room. Fred Armisen was playing with his
Yeah.
band. Tony Howell was on from Arrested Development. It's very exciting. It was a great
It was
show.
good fun.
You got a
Seth-
shout out?
Seth,
in
incredibly
corrections?
nice. We got to hang out with Seth.
Fine,
The
awesome.
important thing is,
Mm.
got to hang out together.
Well, you and me.
Solve our adversarial.
Do you know what? I've got a conspiracy theory that it's only one of us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The other one's been having to be both voices.
Yeah. And the one of us who it is isn't even Australian. We've been doing a misguided Australian accent.
It's a labour laws thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.